This is some great news for basically everyone. For everyone. People who... Nuisance streamers, they get to be taught a lesson. Hopefully, they're never going to learn. And people who just don't like other cultures being disrespected and painting a bad light of other things. Anyone who knows Vitaly, he basically ruined his own career by what he did. And Johnny Somali, the one who terrorized Japan, was arrested and detained for 3 months, then went to Israel, and then fled Israel because they were going to do far worse to him, went to South Korea, and has been stuck in South Korea for, I think, the past year, 2 years almost. And I think he's finally gotten his sentencing. He has gotten his sentencing for like working. And now, yeah, this is Decoy Voice. Korea finally did it. And let's just see. I mean, I've been seeing this on the outskirts. I'm so happy a Nuisance streamer, IRL streamer is removed. We don't need these people out there. IRL streamers are good if they want to learn about the place they're at. The problem is, I guess that just doesn't bring in the money. They get paid to be a nuisance.
Johnny Somali went from being a human pinata to getting arrested several times, saying South Korea couldn't imprison him.
The max penalty is a $100 fine or something, you know what I mean, whatever.
I know for a fact I'm not gonna go to jail. You're the one who's gonna look so dumb when I don't get any jail time or anything. It's just gonna be a fine. I'm just gonna pay and leave, bro. Like, you can't go to jail for...
The finally being convicted in South Korea, sentenced to 6 months of prison with forced labor, as this is especially satisfying since he once went after me, specifically openly admitting to submitting false copyright strikes to silence my coverage of his crimes, calling me a racial slur, saying he'd end my career, when all he really did was live stream his faultless behavior and non-stop beatings across the globe.
And then Decoy Voice got to rake in a ton of money making fun of him. That's the thing. It's just like these people, they end up becoming content for the real content creators. These IRL streamers are nothing but nuisances that become a money glitch for like reactionary content creators. Like, not reactionary content creators, but like slop content creators. I think they're known as like slop tubers, the ones who create the what is it? The tabloid garbage. They create the tabloid garbage of the current day where people just ruin their own careers. Yeah, that's what they are. And I freaking love it. I freaking love it. Now I understand why people love like the tabloids back in the day. Those magazines that took pictures of people unknowingly and kind of spread their gossip out to the world. I finally understand it. The problem is these morons and the slop tube, these people do it to themselves publicly. It's what they post, it's what they say, it's all that. It's crazy.
So before we get into what he's specifically going to be doing in the gulag, let's take a moment to notice this isn't the only punishment he's incurred over his nonsense, as over 2 years ago, he went viral over his racism. So he got sucker punched on livestream, randomly strangled by a stranger, absolutely floored by another foreigner, getting rocked all across Japan just to entertain his 24 subs. Then went to South Korea to get smacked again, asked for more beatings.
If you want to run up, I'm live. I broadcast my live location every day, every night, bro. I don't care. Come get me. Come get me!
To which they quickly obliged, getting hit with a fire extinguisher, and even hunted down by a Korean Navy SEAL, as the entire country seemed to be hunting him down. His sentence might have only just started, but his punishment has been going on for years now. As for almost a year, he's been facing charges in South Korea, not necessarily for the dancing on statues of comfort women, but for the harassment of innocent bystanders, the disruption of multiple businesses for content, and the creation of fake adult AI content of him and a Korean girl. But since he was quickly arrested and released in Japan and that other third country, what all that taught him is he's never going to face any real consequences, openly threatening the Korean judge and their mother.
The judge, the prosecutor, office, my judge, yeah, soft, causing anxiety by carrying a fish. Tell the judge you can, I'll bring the fish to your mother's house.
Absolutely convinced, Korea was too weak to imprison him.
I'm going to show you guys how far I can push the boundaries, and I'm going to show you that the Korean government is not going to do anything to me, because I'm an American citizen. The Korean legal system.
Nobody cares. That's the funny thing, is like, this is why people hate Americans almost everywhere. Almost everywhere. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw that video where Americans were traveling to Egypt to cross the border into, I think it was Egypt, to cross the border into Palestine. And the Egyptian soldiers were basically stopping them and then had to detain them. And then their comment was like, well, you can't do this in America. I mean, that's why people hate Americans so much. The fact that they view themselves as so much better than everyone else. Like, there are things you can say, like the infrastructure of the United States, because the U.S. Is kind of like the focal point where a lot of this stuff started. So it makes sense that its infrastructure, its roads, its power grid, a lot of that stuff works far better here than in most places. The problem is like everyone else has the opportunity to, guess what? Catch up and do better. They have that potential. And the fact is, most Americans are so used to how things operate in America that when they just see one negative thing somewhere else, they start to complain about how where I come from is better. And again, there's nothing wrong about being happy where you came from. The problem is you're being disrespectful to where you're at. You never want to show disrespect. You want to be polite because that nation is hosting you. But there's no getting through to some people. There's no getting through to some people who just, for some reason, will always believe themselves superior, or when convenient, play the victim card. Play the victim card. Yeah, they have the entitlement. The entitlement. And that's one reason why so many people hate Americans. Because they feel like they're superior. The thing is, it's like, where does that superiority come from? The people believing they're superior didn't do anything for that superior, like the things we have that might be quote unquote superior. I did nothing for the road system. I mean, I pay taxes, but I did nothing for America's infrastructure. I did nothing for the development of roads, for the planning of buildings, for the planning of the Constitution, for the planning of government. I did nothing. Why would I go somewhere else and feel like, I could come to this nation and bribe an officer because it's okay? Why would I feel like it's superior when I had nothing to do with how America got to its point? Why would I disrespect another nation which is trying to get to that point? It's never made sense to me. It has never made sense to me. But yeah, these people are they're just fungus. They're just cancers. They're just cancers. Superiority comes from freedom and democracy. Well, yeah. I mean, I know. There's some places, well, I'm not going to go to a nation which doesn't have the freedom of speech and freedom of everything like the U.S. and start speaking as if it's America. Why? I get detained. I wouldn't go to China and start talking like I do in the U.S. Why? Because some things I say just wouldn't be allowed. Just wouldn't be allowed. And if I'm there, I'd be respectful while I'm there. It's that simple. And when I'm back, I talk about the good things. Maybe a few of the negatives, just like when I did when I visited India. I'd talk about a bit of the negatives, but at the same time, I'd talk about the positives. Because why? It's better. The positives are far better. Too many people focus on the negatives. I spent my childhood sick. I just learned to focus on the positives. Because I'm lucky enough to be here now. I didn't think I'd make it to 20.
Is not as strong as people think and perceive it to be. Well, Johnny's gonna get away with everything. At this point, like, they just keep arresting him, letting him go, arresting him, letting him go. So I just want to show them I will continue to do whatever I want as a not only to the legal system, but as a to the YouTube.
I wouldn't be on live saying this if I was really afraid. They're gonna probably give me a suspended sentence, fine, deportation, and ban from Korea. Like, that is like the 99% chance outcome. The max penalty.
So we got the
$100
1%.
fine. I know for a fact I'm not gonna go to jail. You're the one who's gonna look so dumb when I don't get any jail time or anything. Bro, I'm gonna laugh.
But as time went on, he started to look pretty scared. So from May of last year till today, he wasn't allowed to work, Nuisance stream, or anything other than leech off his friend. As everybody is upset that his sentence is only 6 months, but I personally see it as 2 years of public shaming and a life sentence of being internationally known as the face of fatherless behavior, as Korean prison will not be kind.
Fatherless behavior. True.
Him.
Right in front of the toilet.
Since the room is small, fights often break out over the best spots. Weaker inmates usually suffer, so sleeping spots are assigned.
In order to prevent any kind of pecking order from forming among the inmates, all of the spots are assigned based on the order in which they first entered the living area. Naturally, the most coveted spots are assigned first, while the least desirable spot, the one right near the bathroom, always goes to the very newest arrival.
As he's also been sentenced to forced labor, which he'll work 8 hours a day in one of their various job assignments, starting at 6 a.m., working until 5 with a tiny break, back to share a cell with up to 8 other inmates, which he'll likely be making shopping bags or to bring back about $150 a month, which is ironic as he would live stream to 24 subs, which is just over $100 a month, meaning being in a South Korean forced labor camp might actually be more profitable for him.
Yeah, he's going to get more income from that. And I think that's a good thing. You have people on forced labor, they provide something to society, and then on top of that, they get a bit of an income from when they're released. I think that's smart. I think that we need to utilize a bit of that.
Than when he was live streaming, as the South Korean prison camps are supposed to be about reintegration into society, with longer sentences setting you up to learn a specific trade. But I somehow doubt even forced labor will fix this not Somalian, as after the other Nuisance streamer did nearly 2 years in Filipino prison, he almost immediately returned to live streaming his nonsense, and is now facing a potential $1 million defamation case. Similarly, Johnny Somali faced prison in Japan, but after Japan gave him a light slap on the wrist, said he was heading to Korea.
Tired of Japan. Really. And then I'm gonna go to Korea, and then I'll be a hero in China and Korea. But, we're gonna go crazy.
He immediately returned to becoming a human piñata for attention, where these idiots are so starved for attention, they'd basically do anything for empty internet fame. Again, reminding us, this is just the men's version of daddy issues. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if he went to North Korea. That's the problem, is like, he was talking about how North Korea is better while he was literally on trial. While he was literally on trial, he was talking about how North Korea is better. I mean, how insane do you have to be? How absolutely insane, delusional, crazy do you have to be to do something like that? To do something like that. But whatever. Whatever. It's some people just ruin their own lives. Fatherless behavior, I guess. Nuisance streamer, absolutely. But someone that has no concept of consequences, believes that someone that believes that they're superior to everyone else. That's the kind of mindset, and having no kind of morality. No kind of morality. That's the real issue. That's the real issue. They have no moral compass. No moral compass.
You guys made a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait, wait on that.